But first up, he is the chairman of the American Conservative Union, my old job, and host of Sirius XM CPAC 365. Matt Schlapp is very brave to come here. Matt Schlapp in the Lion's Den. There you are. Okay, Matt, so you are the man who... How long have you been running CPAC?
5 years or so.
5 years.
Right.
When did it start, CPAC?
God, after Barry Goldwater got trounced.
Oh, way back then.
Way back, yeah.
Okay, so...
The original group.
Right. So this year, now, I don't know if you see a lot of liberal media.
I do. I actually appear on a lot of liberal media.
You're here, exactly.
That's right.
That's right. And this is something I've been
That's actually pretty important.
It is, and I've been trying to get the Democrats to go on Fox News.
They should.
They should, of course.
You check the demos of Fox, there's a lot of independents and Democrats watching it.
You got to get inside the bubble.
That's right.
Right. I mean, you may not convert a lot of people here, but maybe one.
Well, it was a pretty close election. You know, an election can be determined based on these kind of strategies, and you should be smart enough to go everywhere you need to go.
But Michael Cohen, at the end of his testimony, gave a kind of a warning.
He did.
And he said, you know, I worked for Trump for 10 years, and I believed him, and I lied for him, and I followed him. And those of who are doing that now, you are going to suffer the same fate as me. Did you see any sort of ghost of Christmas future when he said that? No, you did not?
No.
You don't see any parallels?
I don't associate myself with Mr. Cohen. I'm sorry.
No, but when he said that he lied for Trump, that he supported Trump. I mean, you support Trump fully. We've talked before.
We have.
You're not unaware of his myriad flaws.
I'm not. Mr. Cohen's flaws?
Okay, no, but
Mr. Trump's
no,
flaws?
I'm just saying, like this week we saw Manafort go to jail, sentenced to jail, right?
Yep.
I mean, Manafort, here's a guy who was deeply into debt to this Russian oligarch, Deripaska, right? Then he becomes campaign manager for Trump for free. Just walks in out of the door. It says, you know, Putin really, he's kind of an asset of Putin, and now he's Trump's campaign manager.
Right.
You don't think this is going to haunt you in the future?
Look, we all have to put on our big boy pants and make decisions. And I made a decision back in 2016 that I thought Donald Trump would be a much better president than Hillary Clinton. People
But now
people can disagree with me.
Yeah, but now we've seen him as president for 2 years.
And
nothing has changed your mind.
Actually, what he told me he was going to do as president, he has simply done. All the major things he ran on, people don't have to agree.
Built the wall?
People don't have to agree. You don't have to agree with what he said he was going to do.
Right.
But what did he say he was going to do?
Build a wall, and Mexico would pay for it.
He did say he was going to build a wall,
And Mexico-
he is building a wall.
Well,
he said he would secure the border.
He's not building a wall.
That's not true. That's not true.
Well, there's no money to build a wall.
That's not true. It's the second year in a row that we've gotten money.
So
you want to call it a fence, a wall, a barrier? It's happening.
Whatever it is,
happening.
it's not happening. You're seeing things now because your cult leader says you should.
Why
see
don't you
them.
and I go down to the Rio Grande Valley together? We'll go see what's being built.
But he said it would cost $25 billion. He
It's
couldn't
not
get
going to.
because he doesn't have the money. Because we still sort of live in a democracy. Okay, so all right, but.
Which is why it's the president, because we live in a democracy.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much longer. He just had a meeting with Kim.
He did.
Right? Yeah. And at the end of it, he was talking about the young American who was killed over there, tortured to death.
Yeah.
And he said, when asked about it, he said, Kim told me he didn't do it. I take him at his word. What do you think of that? So something like that happened after you supported Trump in 2016. That doesn't change you? New information?
Kim killed that young man.
So
and I think Kim is a dictator, and I think is a horrible person, and I think the bad thing is...
Well, where does that leave you with Trump?
He's got nuclear weapons.
Okay, but where does that...
trying to make sure that we don't have...
But where does that leave you with Trump defending Kim and believing Kim?
Well, you probably didn't listen to the 2 hours and 20 minutes of the CPAC speech.
No.
But he actually brought this up and said that he does believe that the regime is responsible for all of these.
That's not what he said. It's what he said in Vietnam. I could read you the quote. It was a very simple quote. It was, Kim told me he didn't do it. I take him at his word.
I read the quote. I'm giving you my opinion. My opinion is that's a brutal regime where they kill people.
Okay, but he said he believed Kim.
I understand that. And what I also understand is he's in nuclear diplomacy to try to make sure that we don't have like a nuclear weapon appear in Hawaii.
That's a different answer. If you're saying it's okay to kill one guy to stop the nukes.
No, it's not okay. No, it's not okay. He didn't say he was glad that these people are being
He said he
butchered
believed
over there.
him.
That
it
his
doesn't
own...
terrify you that he believes other... He said the same thing about Putin. They were explaining to him that Kim had nuclear weapons. I'm talking about the CIA explaining to him. They were explaining to him that Kim could reach us, and he said, I don't think so. I believe Putin. He told me Korea doesn't have those
Well, what
weapons.
about giving the mullahs in Iran $150 billion? That probably wasn't such a great idea either.
Let's answer this question first, and we didn't give them the money. It was unfrozen. You know that.
But they got the cash.
They got the cash.
We froze it.
Yes, they got the cash for something.
Right.
He didn't get anything. They got the cash for dismantling their nuclear program.
So Obama did that. He put up with the mullahs so that he could get what he thought was a higher purpose, which was to rid Iran of having nuclear capabilities. That's what he did.
Let me ask you this.
And it went into the pockets of terrorists.
His children, this week we found out, he demanded that they get security clearance, again, over the objections of the CIA and the FBI. Do you think this is what the founders had in mind, that someone who loses the election by 3 million votes then gets to put his kids in government? You're a big founder guy, all conservatives are. You love the Heritage Society and all that stuff. And is that what they had in mind?
Yeah, they like the Electoral College. That's why they created it. They have no problem with that. And they don't have any, there was never any issue with Rosalind Carter.
And what about kids?
What about when Rosalind Carter she'd go to any meeting? Jimmy Carter said she can walk into any meeting. She wasn't elected to do anything. Dick Cheney's kids worked for him in positions.
Okay, but Rosalind Carter wasn't in charge of the Middle East.
She was in charge of anything she wanted to be.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
I don't remember Rosalind Carter being in charge of the... No, you're not.
I'm a lot older than you.
I don't remember that. We'll fact check it.
The fact is that kids...
Never have any luck with that.
Here's what presidents do. Presidents have they have the advisors they want to have. They reach out and talk to anybody they want to talk to. Whether you go through a background process or not, most presidents have decided to confide in their spouses and their children to great length. The difference with these two is they decided to go through an FBI background.
You can do it, just don't tell me it's not unprecedented. It's completely unprecedented to put your son-in-law in charge of the Middle East.
I agree with that.
Thank you. So, I have been saying many times in this very chair to guests who were kind of laughing at me that Donald Trump, even if he loses the election in 2020, is not going to go away. And I found some vindication when Michael Cohen concluded his testimony, when they asked him, why are you here?
Right.
And Michael Cohen said, I'm here because having worked with Mr. Trump for so long, I don't think he will leave. He knows Trump pretty well. What do you think of that?
I think that's absurd.
You think Trump will leave?
I have these flashbacks to 2016 when I was told that election night Donald Trump wouldn't accept the results of the election. Right? Remember that?
That's immaterial because he won.
It's the same thing.
He said before the election he might not accept the results if he loses.
But Hillary Clinton was the one that didn't accept the results that night. She waited till the next day, right? So
the next day.
I think I'm
talking about him just staying there.
Well, you're talking about it doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Matt.
Is it okay if I have the opinion that I think that if he loses, he will pack up?
Yes,
he might even want to leave because it hasn't probably been that joyful.
No, he's not going to want to leave because he knows he'd go to jail. He can't leave.
Stop.
He can't leave. What I'm asking you now is that if he doesn't, and he's made murmurs to this, I mean, he said many times that...
He doesn't really do murmurs. He just says it straight out.
Okay.
He's more that kind of guy.
If he doesn't leave, if it is a free and fair election, and by the way, even if it's suspect, it's up to the courts to decide, would you break with him then? If he did not leave, you would. You would break with Donald Trump.
I wouldn't break with anyone over that.
Okay, all right. It's all right. Well, look, this is a guy who does things that are out of the norm.
I would agree with that.
The declaring of a national emergency, taking that, which many Republicans are against.
It's true.
Right. Okay. So that's taking.
There's going to be a big vote in the Senate. It's an open question as to whether or not they're going to have the votes.
When you take upon yourself a power like that, when you say, I want this power.
Actually, Congress passed a law that was upheld by the Supreme Court that gives them that power.
Not to do what he did in the way, not about things like this where the Congress has voted on something. This is about the power of the purse. He's taking their constitutional right. This is different.
All the money, Bill, I mean, we can criticize both parties for this. All that money has been appropriated. Congress sends all of this extra money into these accounts. And maybe Congress ought to be a lot more penurious about what they put over in the executive branch. And the fact is we have over 30 of these emergencies that have been declared for all kinds of reasons.
Not like this, and you know it.
This one is the president's responsibility, clearly in law.
Okay, so let me ask you about Fox News. That was another big story this week. There was a large article in the Inquirer. The New Yorker. It'll be in the Inquirer.
Is that my next question?
Yeah.
I'm very worried now.
Yeah, that's right. Jane Maher does not work for the Inquirer. But she's saying that basically Fox News is running our government, which I think we know because Trump watches Fox and Friends in the morning, and then he tweets very often as he's watching it. Sometimes he doesn't even refer to what he is tweeting. You just have to know that's what he's watching. Sometimes he's just going to tweet, "Oh, yeah." But
what do you want me to say?
this is completely, but this is unprecedented too. I mean, the fact that Sean Hannity does a show every night praising Trump, and then after the show, Sean Hannity and Trump talk. Now, if Obama was talking to Rachel Maddow every night, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I remember.
What would you say?
I remember the Obama presidency when Fox News actually wasn't treated like a news outlet. And I think that was a mistake. And I think that what's going on.
Yeah, but this is different. This is the President of the United States talking every day to the people on the station that he likes.
I'm going to give you a dirty little secret.
If Obama talked to Rachel Maddow every day, what would you be saying?
I don't know, did he? I don't know if he did.
He didn't.
I don't know.
I promise you he didn't. I'm asking you what. See, I have this book. It's called If Obama Did It. And
I need to get my glasses.
I'm going to present you with a copy. Wait, I just want to read a few things. If his campaign manager went to jail, if his lawyer went to jail, if his national security advisor went to jail, if his albino assassin, Roger Stone, went to jail, if he had an affair with a porn star, paid hush money to a porn star, if he used an unsecure phone, if he gloated with the Russians in his office after firing the head of the FBI. Stop me if you find any of these. If he had unchaperoned talks with Putin. Can you imagine if Obama did that? If he said, "I believe Putin." If he gave his children jobs in the administration. What about this one? He scammed FEMA, we found out. He got $17 million out of FEMA for damage that wasn't done during a hurricane to Mar-a-Lago. That alone they would have impeached Obama over.
You can keep going through all of that, and I give you there's a lot of material. But I'm just you gotta allow me.
But come on.
You gotta allow me to give an answer.
I am.
Let me give you what's going on.
You're right.
What my opinion in politics.
Okay.
Is that everyone can continue to say that you said a scam artist, that he's a liar, all these questions. He told people across this country that he was going to do 5 or 6 big things, right?
No matter whatever else he does, that's okay.
But let me just try to answer the question.
All right.
For a politician who is actually keeping the big promises he has made, which you really can't deny, he said he was going to move that embassy, he moved that embassy. He said he was going to get out of the Iran deal, he got out of the Iran deal. He said he was going to get out of the Paris deal, he got out of the Paris deal. He said he was going to cut taxes.
He's undone a lot of stuff. You're right.
But he said, and I understand a lot of you didn't like the fact of what he was saying on the campaign trail, but you can't deny that on these big questions, he did it. Now, a lot of people on the other side of the equation for me don't like that he did that. And when people in the news media have this constant refrain that he has been so dishonest as president, they have to understand for the people who supported him, he is simply they view him as doing what he said he would do.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you coming on here. Give him a hand, Matt Schlapp. He came into a place like this.